Welcome, everyone, to Atomic Empowerment, our 30-day mind detox challenge. And tonight, I'd like to welcome a very special guest and a beautiful soul, the unstoppable Mirav Tarkka, a 10 times international best-selling author, award-winning publisher, and fearless book mentor. From IDF operational sergeant to world-renowned self-defense expert, she has mastered turning chaos into clarity and creativity. With her mind, body, soul writing system, she's helped over 80 authors hit #1 best-selling status, including myself. So I can vouch from my heart that Mirav's approach is fearless, fun, and transformational. And I know she's going to blow everyone's socks off. So without further ado, please welcome Mirav.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you or meet you. And thank you for joining us live or on a replay. So thank you, Beverly, for the beautiful introduction. I'm Mirav Tarkka, and coming to you from the very cold and rainy today, South Italy. And I know I'm talking to a group of writers, so I actually prepared something quite interesting for you all today. And before I start, we all know that everybody has a story. We're here in this life on earth, and we are supposed to experience all kinds of emotions and stories that we go through. And everybody also has a purpose, whether you found it out yet or it's changing or whatever's happening to it. You know, we came into this world to bring our purpose and to give our gifts to the rest of the world. This is what we were born with. So for me, since everybody has a story and everybody has a purpose, writing a book is really a divine manifestation of you bringing that purpose into something materialistic, manifesting that purpose. And with doing that, you are creating an impact. You are creating a transformation of lives all around the planet. A ripple effect that you don't even know where it will get. You know, as Beverly knows, when we wrote Lady X together, we had no idea where it would get, how far it would get, how many people it will affect, how many people it will heal, how many people it will inspire. I have authors who, after they publish their even just one book, most of them already published a few, they went to Hollywood and won Oscars there for being a best-selling author. They created a whole business around their book. They added their book as part of their business. They met really important, influential people. They speak on stages. And this is the big ripple effect that can happen. I have an author that 2 of his books became movies. It is right that it will have that ripple effect, because when you're working out of that beautiful purpose and that intent, you deserve to be awarded for it, because it's all about energy exchange. And what's a bigger energy exchange than actually putting your purpose into words, maybe the most ancient way of communication going on for thousands of years, and making your purpose and your gifts eternal. Wow. So when you have a story and you connect it to your purpose, you always have a story, even if you're writing about your business or a fairy tale for your children, it still has your story engraved in it. It still has your soul engraved in it. It still has your feelings, your emotions, your experiences, your thoughts. So when you put those together, you are truly being a gift from the universe to the world. And it's a forever gift, a gift that keeps on giving. Your book will exist there forever unless you decide not to. Now, I know that many of you are already writing a lot. So I was thinking today, in order to make this time together really valuable, to explain how it is different from, so Beverly spoke about automatic writing, how we can in 1 second, switch it from journaling, from writing to ourselves, healing ourselves, and just writing whatever is on our heart, to actually putting it into a book. And it's very interesting because I've worked with loads of authors all around the world, and even now I'm working with one author that she just loves writing. Every day she spends writing, but she writes more to herself. So I needed to find a way to switch her from writing to herself to writing to the public. So when you're writing a book, you're not going to be the only one who reads it. And I always say to authors, write as if no one will ever read it. But at the same time, you have to put that intention there that it's going to be published. When you write something that is from all your heart, and you need to write from all your heart and your soul and bare your soul and everything, but you write it knowing that it's going to be published, your message is going to be amplified. So yes, your book is, your writing is healing, it's transformative, you're putting it all out there. And this is a really beautiful way to get the writing automatic. But in the same time, it's not journaling. So how do you make this switch? And how do you actually prevent having any writing blocks ever? So the first and the most fundamental part of every writer, and it's a pity that not more people know about it, is actually what Beverly is a specialist in, and it's all the energy work. I am a true believer that our body, mind, and soul are working together. And if we neglect one part of that, so everything else will not have that maximum result that it could have. I don't believe in writing with GPT and all of that. I don't even believe in ghostwriting, because I think that when you write your story, it has to come really from you. And this is also what automatic writing is all about. I call it vomiting on paper. So just, clearing all the barriers and just writing and writing and writing and until the alarm comes on, or until you need to stop writing. So it's very natural, it's very raw, it's very, authentic. And authenticity is huge. A little secret, I'm not a fortune teller, but it is going to be more and more and more huge. It's going to be so important in the world in the years to come, because it's becoming more and more rare. So you as writers are tapping on the highest potential of communication, of messaging, of impact that exists and that will exist in the world, no matter the technology, whatever is going on there. So we have to maximize that potential. And in order to do that, and in order to do that without any barriers and without any writer's blocks, which for me, writer's blocks don't really exist, it's all our inner blocks and inner work, we do the energy work beforehand. So for my authors, the basic work, the ABC, before you start writing even one word in your chapter, and I don't believe in writing outlines and wasting time on that, I just believe in writing, but the fundamental work to do before that is that energy work. So, for example, with Beverly, we have done so many beautiful meditations. You know that her voice is just mesmerizing, and the danger there is that personally, I tend to fall asleep because I just go to another realm. But you write from another realm. I always had a problem pronouncing that R. So you can do a more active meditation, affirmation, and the most important part is for you to move your body while you're doing that energy work. So even if you're listening to Beverly or listening to something that you created yourself or just listening to your heart, if you start moving while you're doing it, you will move your emotions through your body, but you will also get all the physical activation that is absolutely a game changer for writers, because our body really enjoys that cocktail of hormones that it gets when it moves. And we say when the body moves, the mind grooves. Meditations are great, but if you write in a mood of zen and let's, try not to fall asleep, and your book will get that energy, and it will be very calm energy, and it might put readers to sleep, even if it's about really interesting things. But if your energy is high, the book has its own entity and its own energy. If your energy is high and come on, let's do it, and I'm unstoppable, and I want to bring my message out there to a bunch of readers, the most important part is that you connect on a soul level, on an energy level, you make that connection between your heart and the heart of the reader. So we did different things when we were writing the book. We wrote a love letter to our readers. We wrote love letters to ourselves as best-selling authors, as people who are putting their heart and soul and energy and time and talent out there to bring the message out, to live their purpose. It's in the end of the day, it's a huge, huge, huge gift to the world. Thousands of people can get your knowledge, your experience, and everything without even knowing you, without paying for whatever you are providing there. It's a book that you can buy for, I don't know, $2.99 on Kindle. So that is you being so generous, and that has to be honored. So the energy work is the ABC. And if you combine it with the body work, so while you are listening to the meditation, or you don't need to listen to the meditation if you don't want to, you do whatever feels good for you, but tapping on your heart, walking around, looking at the mirror, doing some mirror work, writing that love letter to your reader, just to make that connection that will be a forever connection. Dancing is huge, or even jumping. Tony Robbins, before every seminar, he jumps on his trampoline for 2 minutes because it increases the energy, but it also brings everything together. So I remember at the time, Beverly had to remind me of my power. It happens to all of us. And she told me, draw this circle and stand in it and look in the mirror and punch the mirror, well, not punch the mirror, punch in the air. But in this way that you're looking at yourself and you're moving, you're reminding yourself of your inner power. And that was a game changer for me. And I'm a fighter. I'm an ex-military. I taught Krav Maga for 18 years. But I needed that reminder, and I needed to remind myself of that power. And I've done it every time before I wrote even content. Every time before I wrote something that was important for me, like my intention for the day and so on. And when I wrote my books. So moving your body and getting that energy will not only prepare you energetically for your book and put that intention out there and create that soul level connection between you and your book, between you and your words, between you and your reader. And I always say that the book is written through you and not by you. So you really want to create that, and you really want to clear all that energy. This will also prevent any writing blocks, because writing blocks come from doubts and fears that you have between you and you. And when we're writing, we don't want to deal with all of that. You don't stop your writing to start analyzing, why are you feeling not enough? Why are you feeling that this might not be enough for other readers? Why are you feeling that you should write like Shakespeare and so on? We just want to, smash these doubts and smash the fears and cancel them and ignore them even. Maybe take care of that later. But right now the mission is writing the book and getting that done. So we need to get out of our head, as much as it sounds ridiculous as a writer. And the best way to do that, the fastest way to do that, is to get into your body. So by moving your body, your brain gets to rest from all this overthinking and the doubts and everything. Your body starts moving, and then your head follows. But this time your head is a vessel. Your mind is a vessel. It's not the self-talk and the self-critic and am I good enough? And is this book good enough? And I'm writing good enough and blah, blah, blah. And what should I do? But it's more, what is the message that has to come through right now? Because I'm making a huge impact here. And how do I make this in the most efficient, beautiful way, magnetic way, that people could not stop reading and they will actually get great value from what I'm writing, whatever it is. So you need this vessel to be nice and clean and open to receive that information. And by doing this movement and energy work, looking at yourself in the mirror, telling yourself you're the bomb, doing some power poses, saying I've got this, and I've been chosen by this book. I've been chosen by my ancestors to be the first author of my family, the first published author. I've been chosen by, if you have this calling, there is a reason for that. And honor that, and then start the writing. Now, the main thing that will make the difference between you journaling and you writing a book, especially if you want it to be a bestseller, it's also strategy and other stuff like that. But the main thing is the intent that you set when you start writing. So if I journal every day and I write my gratitude and my manifesting and intention for the day and so on, I know between me and me that this is for my eyes only. And so the way that I will write will be for me. It won't be something that I will publish unless I'm writing with that intention. Before you write, if you think that what you are writing is something that you would like to publish, which I honestly suggest everybody does, because I think everybody's story has to be published and everybody has a purpose. And the more we put our purpose out there, the better the world will be and the more information will be out there available for people who need it and who would benefit from it. All you need to do is put your hands on your heart and say, okay, I'm setting out the intention that my writing will be for publishing, it will be for a book. And then you make that connection, even a few seconds between you and your soul reader, between you and your soul book, and so on. And the writing that will come through, that will be channeled through, will be connected to that purpose and that impact that you want to make. It will not be journaling type. It will be something else. My authors like to say that it comes from another world, another realm, another level of consciousness, which is absolutely true, because that knowledge is there to serve others. Like when we wrote Lady X, it's quite a complex book. It was, when we were writing it, it was quite complex because we wanted to bring inside our experience and our knowledge and write it as a fiction book that would be understood in two levels of fiction and nonfiction, in a way that people will really find healing in it. So the concentration levels and the way that we wrote it was so, I would say, wise and intelligent, because we had to find those nuances that will make sense, but will also not make the book sound like, someone who's preaching or something like that, but more of a beautiful love story and how it evolves and what it teaches the reader. So by putting that intention that we want a book that would help a woman who is learning to love most of all herself out there, the book was written in that way. And a lot of things that came out were things that we never expected. One of the writers came out there with her story of abuse, and none of us knew about that. She didn't know she would write about it. She didn't know she would dare to write about it. But she clearly said that was the message that came through when she was writing, that she needs to write about it. And the ripple effect, interesting, was that after we published this book, that author has opened a whole new business, which was all about spiritual healing and connecting that to other places in life. And she got her own healing also through the writing and kept on publishing information that was really important. That was, that's the secret, that's the beauty, that's the magic when you put that intent. And all you need to do is just put that intent. So I think that's extremely powerful. And people, when they ask me a lot, what was the secret? How do you defer journaling to book publishing, book writing? Like, you could actually publish your journal, like the journals of Anna Frank. But I don't know how effective it will be today. And I think that if Anna Frank ever knew that her diaries would be published, she would probably write it in a bit of a different way, in a way that was more impactful, because her story is very, very powerful and it's documenting what happened in her life over there, but it's not giving that much of a value that today the world would need. And so we need to adapt to today's world. And we came here in this time of the world with a good reason. So let's make that reason worthwhile, and let's make our stories worthwhile, and let's make ourselves and our stories and our lives a best-selling one. And just one more thing I wanted to say, that Beverly knows me, and those who know me won't be surprised, but this will probably shock you. If you really want to write an impactful book, you need to really go deep, and you need to go raw, and you need to go to the darkest places in your soul and make friends with your demons, and go to the taboo, go to what no one speaks about, go to places that you didn't even know that exist, go to where there is fear, go to where you need more courage. So wine really helps. But what helps more than that is being naked when you write. Because when you have no clothes, you have no filters, and it transmits to your book. I know it sounds crazy, but this is something that I accidentally found out writing one of my books, which it wasn't about sex or anything. It just happened because it was hot and I had no space. I was lying on the floor and I was like, yeah, oh, this feels nice. And loads of things came out of my mind. And it only happened when I was naked. So I started testing it with authors, and the results were like, it blew my own mind. I had authors who wrote their whole book in 3 days, just 2 hours a day of writing. They collapsed time, and things that came out of their minds were so raw, because I think the reason is I don't really know why it worked that way, but it did work magically with different kinds of people, with loads of people, men, women, different ages, different body forms and everything. When you have no filters, when there is no barriers between you and the outside, then there is no barriers from the inside, and you go deep, and you dare to bear, and then you dare to share. And I had like results of people when I asked them what was the most amazing writing technique that really helped you to write your book. They all say writing naked. One of them even added that it was writing naked, barefoot in the garden. So, I don't know if she has any neighbors, but that really, she wrote 2 books, best-selling books in 6 months. She was not a writer. She had no idea how to start, how to do it. She was shocked by my methods, and she was like, okay, what the heck, I'll try. And then I found out that many very successful artists also throughout history, writers, painters, musicians, did their work naked. There is something about you being just you with your body. Maybe it's the contact with your chakras, maybe, the contact of body, mind, and soul, maybe that kind of taboo feeling. It transmits to your writing, it transmits to your brain, and it transmits to the reader. No, they won't know that you were naked when you wrote it, but they will feel your authenticity, they will feel your honesty, they will feel that their heart connects with you, and they will feel that they're crying with you and laughing with you and connecting with you and loving you, and hating the people that hurt you, and whatever you're writing there will be a true connection. So to conclude, do the energy work and try to do it moving. Set a clear intention that your purpose will be manifested in that book and bring impact to whoever it needs to bring that transformation to, and write naked. And have a glass of wine or 2 while you are doing that, just to, to enjoy the process. So yeah, I hope this was of a value. Let me know if you have any questions. You're still here.
That was brilliant, Mirav. And I know a lot of people say they procrastinate. So what are your tips for that?
Well, I just spoke about this yesterday in my group of authors, because there came a discussion that they were talking about. We were planning the writing schedule, and personally, when I write a book, I write every day. So to write a book, it takes 10 to 12 hours. So basically, if you take 10 days and you write day after day for 1 hour and 15 minutes, you're done. So I think that, when you are in that motion and in that energy of, they call it the writer's high, I call it the writer's trance. Like you start writing and you just get into that motion, just eat the frog and write as fast as possible, and you finish it, because anyway, you need to pass these 10 to 12 hours. The more you procrastinate, the more you spend time, delaying the inevitable and not getting it done. And then, so I have writers that write every day, and I have writers that write twice a week, and I don't recommend writing less than once a week, because you lose that energy, and energy stays in motion as long as it stays in motion. And this is where procrastination comes in, either when you have the self-sabotage. So for some reason, your mind wants to protect you from, I don't know, failure, from what others would think, and so on. And so you start self-sabotaging yourself and finding ways to avoid stuff. And it's all the self-doubts that come there. The more you do it, the more it happens. Or it comes from, it's kind of a ripple effect that you get stuck in the rut because something happened. You were planning to write today, and then your child got sick, and you're like, fuck, I can't write now because I need to take care of her. There's too much noise. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow something happens, and then you kind of get stuck in that rut, and it's more difficult to start. So the first thing is to stay in that determination and to stay in that motion. And we were talking about the difference from being kind to yourself, like, okay, if I can't write today, it's okay, I'll write tomorrow. And the slippery slope of getting into procrastination and having the book in your drawer for years. So what came to my mind is my meeting with my nutritionist 2 days ago. And it was very interesting because he said two things that really stayed with me, and I shared that with my group. He said, first of all, to do extraordinary things, to get extraordinary results, you need to do extraordinary things. If you behave like the common person, you will not get the extraordinary results. There's only 0.02% of people who actually publish books. And that is because it takes work, it takes energy. Yes, you need to make it fun, you need to celebrate every moment, you need to make it sexy, take it like a date with your book, and you need to keep on doing this. You need to be very disciplined and do that and be determined with your goals. I say set your goal in stone, and the road can be set in sand because, life happens. But if I didn't write today, I will write tomorrow. And if I cannot write in the next 2 days, next week I'll write double. And I set my mind to it, and I do it no matter what. So this is where my military mindset really helped. My nutritionist was right. I'm preparing for a photo shoot. I would love to eat ice cream every evening, but I can't. And I don't even think about it because I think of the goal and I want to get extraordinary results. So I'm going to do extraordinary things to get there. Remember that you only need 10 to 12 hours to write a whole book, even less, because today books, the shorter they are, the better they sell. So even if you write a very niche down book of 100 pages, which is 50 word pages, that is enough. So it's not forever. Like pain is temporary, glory is forever. It's just 10 days, 10 hours that you need to dedicate to your book. So you can take 10 weeks to do it, you can take 10 days to do it, you can take a month to do it. It's up to you, but it's not going to be forever. You don't have to change your life forever. But you need to eat that frog and to keep it, keep that no mercy approach. There are no shortcuts around it. The shortcuts that I can offer is collapsing time through making it really fun, through anchoring the right music to your writing, to get an amazing Italian wine while you're writing, to enjoy, to honor that time, to close yourself in a room with your favorite stuff, to dance, to touch yourself, to get in connection to yourself, to see that time that you're writing as a really honorable time because you have been chosen. So that will make time shorter and much more fun, and you're more likely to stick with it. It is fun. Like if you're choosing a sport and you hate swimming, but you choose swimming, you will find a way not to do it. But if you love beating the shit out of people and you go boxing every day, you'll be like, yoo-hoo, this is so much fun. And then before you know it, you get to the results that you want. The second thing that he said, the nutritionist, which actually, he's also my trainer, and it actually really shocked me, and it takes a lot to shock me, was I was telling him that, on Mondays when I go to the gym, I feel amazing. I feel full of energy. On Mondays, I usually lift like over 100 kilos. But when I go on Wednesdays, my energy is low on Wednesdays, the middle of the week, and I could hardly lift 50. And I'm like, what's going on there? Is it my nerve system? Do I not eat well? Blah, blah, blah. He said, it is Wednesday when your body and your mind actually have the greatest results and they actually develop. Because when you go and when you feel full power and you go with all your power and so on, yes, you get that results, but you're already pre-prepared and everything is ready to go. So it's easy. It's easy for your body, it's easy for your mind. But it is when it is difficult that you make the real change. It is when it is difficult that you lose that last kilo, or you become even stronger and your mind becomes stronger. And what happens is when we don't feel like writing, but we took that obligation, and there's a difference between being kind to ourselves than being lazy or giving too many discounts to ourselves. So my daughter was sick yesterday. They called me from school and she was vomiting. I had to cancel 4 hours of work and I couldn't write. I didn't want to do it. I had to do it because she was jumping on me the whole time. Of course, after she vomited at school, she was fine at home and I didn't have that option. So I didn't cancel everything. I delayed it for today. And today I woke up early and I did some things and I will keep on doing and I'll catch up with what I have to do. If I would be in the kind of lazy mindset, I'll be like, okay, c'est la vie, let's be kind to me and I'll just, forget about it. No, because I have a goal in mind and I'm going to do it. So this is where my body in the gym and my writing body here and my writing habits and my mentality of it, I call it the championship mentality. This is the championship mentality. When you don't feel like doing it and you do it anyway. And even if you do it, he said to me, even if you just give 75%, it is 10 times better than the day that you feel 100% and you give 100%. This is what makes the change. This is what creates that strength. And this is where your body gets even stronger. But for us writers, what is the most beautiful part here is that this is where our mind gets stronger. And this is also where we start secretly really trusting ourselves. Because if you keep on telling yourself, okay, let's snooze, not today, let's do it tomorrow, you start subconsciously even not trusting yourself because your word for you is not worth that much. You keep giving yourself discounts. You keep saying, okay, just between me and me. You honor the time that you have with clients. You honor the time that you have with friends and family. You honor your other obligations, but your obligation and your promise towards yourself and towards the world, you don't. And you stop trusting yourself and you stop having that confidence with yourself. And then you start finding all the excuses and doubts and fears. But when you do things, even when you don't feel like doing it, you start understanding that you can trust yourself 100% and trust your promises 100%. And the next time you give yourself a promise and the next time you say that I will do it, you know that you will do it because your word for you is more important than anything else. So that's my a bit long answer.
Yeah, I love your passion, and I think we all need to adopt the champion mindset. And I know everybody who will listen to this is going to benefit greatly. I'll put all your websites and your contact details in the notes. Is there anything at all you want to share? Because I know you're on a time scale.
No, well, my best contact is through social media because my website is still under
Construction.
Yeah. It's a matter of finding the time to do that. No, I just really think that, you can get your book, like if you start today, putting that intention, next week, the end of next week, you could already finish your whole book. I had authors who finished their books in 3 days. It's not that difficult. Everything in life comes to that champion mindset and that I'm going to do it and that's it. There is no mercy. I'm taking no prisoners. I'm just going and doing what I need to do and getting the best results I can. It is not difficult to be a published author. It is not difficult to be a best-selling author. You need to be authentic. You need to be you. You need to dare to be you. You need to not write what you think people would enjoy reading or what you think people need to read or all of that crap. No. You need to write from your heart what you feel like writing, whatever it is. And just also becoming the best version of you, this is part of it. It is living the best story, the best-selling story that you can live in your life, whether you write about it or not. If you want to write about it and you want to publish it, this is a huge thing that you can do for yourself, for your family, for your surrounding, and for the world. And this is something that will stay also when you're gone. So this is absolutely beautiful. It's like kind of packaging your knowledge or your story in this beautiful form that will be available for other people who might need it. And it's easy, it's great, it's fun, it's very gratifying, because you get that energy exchange back. Not always in money, but there is a ripple effect that is way beyond what you can imagine. And also relationships and stuff like that, as we know. So I just think that you should all do it. And do
I
it fast.
know. For the listeners, we wrote Lady X during the first lockdown in France, and we were all separate, and we never knew what the chapter before us was going to be about, and it just spinballed from there. But we had so much fun with our weekly meetings and, going over the chapters, and it's about also being open and ready for the flow, because for me, I'd written loads of health articles and whatever, and done loads of automatic writing and meditative writing and help people through crisis and traumas through writing.
Yeah.
But to know that you're writing a story that people are going to be seen, at that stage, we weren't doing the naked writing, but I think all
I
artists
was.
all artists feel naked. It's like when your work's been exposed, you're very vulnerable. So I think it's a very transformative experience, and I can highly recommend you as a writing coach, because you make everything so fun. You're so knowledgeable and experienced, and without saying about your background and your upbringing, you carry a wealth of information. So I can highly recommend reading her book, Undefeatable, so you get a better feel for her. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Mirav and follow her on social media. And thank you so much for giving up your precious time. And thank you to everybody on this call.
Thank you, Beverly.